Moving on to Chapter 9, we're going to start with a little bit of vocabulary first. First of all, the chapter is called Transformations, which is talking about changing or moving a figure. So we're going to start with what's called a pre-image. That's our starting, so it's going to result in an image. Now our image we could get by taking that original image and we can just slide it around to different places. We might rotate it, we might spin it around, we might slide it and rotate it. We might reflect that image over some line. We might change the size of that image, which would be a dilation. So there's different ways we could change that. We could also do it in ways that might mess with the shape of the figure a little bit, causing it to skew a little bit. But most of the ones that we're going to talk about, 3 of these things are going to be when we keep the same size. And if we keep the same size on that, and we have a congruent figure, that will be an isometry. The one that we're going to talk about today is a translation. And a translation is when we just slide the figure. So here I have a blue figure that slides over to the red one. One way that we can do that is by a vector. So notice that every point on this has moved the same distance as going from A to B, and the blue one moves to the red one, each corner then going to the other corner. So let's look at this on Sketchpad. So here is an example where I have a triangle and I have some vector. If I want to translate this by that vector following D to E, I'm going to choose D and then E. That's going to give me a direction, and the direction is important with a vector. And I'm going to go to Transform and mark a vector. Notice that little flash there shows we're going from D to E. And now I'm going to highlight my figure, my triangle, and I'm going to transform it by a translation. Now notice this is marked to do a translation vector as it's marked, which was DE, point D to point E. We translate that and it gives me a new figure. Notice I can slide this around and we can see that every point is going from the original one down to its matching point, and we have congruent triangles. If I move this triangle, then it moves the other one. We can look at the points, then look at how they name these on Sketchpad. This is our standard way of naming points from a translation. I can only have point A in one place, but I want to show that it's going to another point A, so we use this little mark. This is A prime, C prime, B prime, to show that this is a result of this transformation. Now there's another way that we can translate these, is if we're in a coordinate plane, we can say how far we want to go over and up. So if this is my starting point, I could just kind of count out here that if I'm going from 7 back, or 1 over to 7, that's like going over 6. I could just also count that. So we're adding 6 to my x, and then we're going up. 13 minus 9 will give me 4. So we're going over 6, up 4. So if I want to translate this by the given vector, I would count for each point going over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and up 1, 2, 3, 4, which will take me to my new point A, which we'll call A prime. I can do the same with B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and count up 1, 2, 3, 4 for my B prime. And then my C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my C prime. And we can complete it by connecting the dots and getting our triangle. We'll notice that this new one is congruent to the other one. It's just a result of sliding it over. We could have also done this by just adding these points, this plus 6 and plus 4, to each one of these points, and that would have also given us the coordinates there. Looking at how to do that in Sketchpad. This will also allow us to do translation. This one says I want to translate by -2, 5. These little chevrons are showing it's a vector and not a point. So the first thing I'm going to do is highlight my figure. I'm going to go to Transform and Translate. Notice there are different choices here. To do this, I want to use rectangular coordinates, and I want to type in that I'm going back 2 and up 5. So -2, +5, x, y, translate, and that shows us where we're going. Now, if I do it this way, I can't really move this around. I can move my original point, and it will move my second one, but I can't really change my vector without going in and redoing the whole thing. Again, notice that if I choose these points, I get A prime, C prime, and B prime.